Here we are. Here we are. Oh, Lula, when I was hanging out, I wasn't expecting you to be full mouse, so honestly, but full mouse is a good look for you, you know?
Oh, thanks. Yes, yes,
Especially with the cherries on the head,
yes.
right?
Yeah, it's my signature.
Right, right. Can't have the berry mouse without the berries, huh?
Exactly. Well, actually, cherries are a rock fruit, sir.
Ah,
Um,
you,
yeah,
you've
but
caught my ignorance in the way of the fruit.
no, to be fair, I was the same way. I'm like, I'm a berry mouse, draws cherries on everything. Oh, wait a minute.
All right, all right. Oh, and we do have Sharku popping up in the chat with first, and then back to
Oh,
passing
hi,
out.
Sharky.
Sharku, Sharku, I asked you not to push yourself too much. Probably too late though, and you were probably 300 squats in at that point, huh?
Damn, that's a lot of squats.
Right, right. But with that buying time for any pre-roll ads that might be popping up out of the way, welcome, welcome. She was going for 400. Sharku.
Jesus, you're gonna get a
Sharku.
badunk. Badunk.
Ay, ay. That out of the way. Welcome, welcome to Big Squeak Inc. episode 38. I'm your host as always, Saruroku. Across the table for me is the co-host for the day.
Hi, I'm Lula. I'm a mouse.
He is a mouse. And well, our guest for the day seems to be a little bit out of view at the moment. I'm sure we might get a sliver of an avatar or something popping up. Oh,
Uh,
oh,
hello, everybody.
Dun,
hello.
dun, dun,
Look, I
Ba da
saw,
ba.
I, I saw how Chunky just went flying down when she was interviewed. So I thought, like, why not doing the opposite a bit? Granted, I think I'm still squatting. So excuse me for a sec. Eh,
A bit hard to, fit in behind all the buildings when you're standing that big size, though.
I mean, when you're a goddess like me, it's not quite easy to find avatars sizable, suitable enough for a small planet. I'm very sorry about that, I guess.
I
But
don't know.
yes, should I introduce myself or do you want to?
Go ahead and introduce yourself and give us a quick who are you?
Oh, right. So, my name is Silvia Ultima. I am the Baphomet goddess of growth and balance, though I guess people will see balance more like, like like in terms of a scale or, someone who's doing both good and evil, but for me balance is more like what I consider myself as my laws. Anyways, but yes, also freshly becoming a VTuber. It is almost 2 months now since I started being a VTuber. So, yeah. Uh,
Fair, fair, and thank you for the quick introduction. Though
mhm.
I feel like I gotta say, I feel like Lula probably shares a brain cell there of enforcing whatever they deem as balance or the rules, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I just think as after so many years of abiding to the rules of my planet that I came from, and I'm just thinking like, nah, you know what? My rules now. Freedom is my balance. And I guess giving how, in terms of thematics, I guess you could say Goddess of Balance is fitting, but Goddess of Freedom, Goddess of anything that fits my character, sure, why not? No, I have to say though, as quote unquote goddess, I, I know this is the more common term of using goddess, but seeing in media, like in animes or sometimes in movies, seeing those quote unquote gods being bested and toppled and sometimes even slain by mortals, and their weapons. I don't like the moniker of god or goddess to me, but I understand if the common folks wants to use that, then sure.
It's a
Understand.
term for comprehension, right?
Oh, of course, of course. I hate being lumped up with these weaklings that are calling themselves gods and being slain, but you know, sometimes you have to take what you can get.
Yeah.
Whole lot of not so godly ones watering down the title,
Oh, you tell me.
huh? I
See, yeah, I see these in video games sometimes, like, oh, I'm a god, and then like, all right, I'm just do some button clickings and you're dead. Well, what a god you have been.
I am a god, but I have a JRPG protagonist. Yeah.
That's the new anime. Just saying. That should be. If it isn't already.
I it,
Think wasn't it like solo leveling? Isn't that the new anime that is basically like that?
Is it? Oh, I don't
I
know.
mean,
Rob.
something, or maybe it's a clickbait video because I look up like this video and it's definitely like the protagonist of solo leveling and just like you see in written down, oh, god slaying is like cakewalk now, and I'm like, okay, I guess. Oh no.
Oh,
Oh, it's okay. I did that on purpose. You're good. Keep.
all
All
I
right.
right.
had to go under the table. I saw a cherry roll under there.
I
Oh
blinked and
no.
she vanished away. So
Nope,
yeah.
you're good.
So I feel like that's almost any shonen battle series that just goes on long enough, right?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, look, as a I have to say that because I think no one knows that yet. But yes, as a fan of One Piece, I mean, yes, it has the shonen, uh, you know, battle tribes, tropes, and stuff like that. I don't think they have done god slaying. No,
Oh,
well,
don't talk me. Oh,
well, how
We
dare
haven't
you?
done God slaying. Speaking of gods, I
yeah.
just slayed you, right?
Hey.
Nah, don't think so.
I think I did though.
I wouldn't.
You got her own
Do
head
you
cannon
really?
under that table.
Uh,
I'm looking for something. I'm looking for a cherry. It rolled under there. I gotta get it. If you want to look for
then.
it, go ahead, but you might be too big.
Hmm.
Ay, ay, ay.
Now
Found the
Eh,
cherry, oh?
I did.
All right, so where was I before I was so rudely interrupted?
About slaying gods and not liking the moniker because it doesn't mean as much as it used to.
And One Piece.
Yeah, oh
And
yeah,
one.
One Piece. I think right now they are just introducing the protagonist as like their devil fruit is from a god, so I don't think hasn't done god slaying. But I don't know. Who knows when it ends and how it ends?
Yeah, we'll see where it goes when it gets there, huh? That's
Yeah.
always the
Absolutely.
thing I've heard about One Piece. It's ah, this payoff was really great. How long did it? 200 chapters for something they set up years ago.
Oh, 200. We can start with a joke or more like in the manga when I think it was in the first chapter or like first two chapters, like, oh, that door just magically reappeared even though it was broken just the scene before, and then like 900 chapters later it's like, oh, there's the guy that actually repaired it because you know Oda had to make this joke into a character. There's your
Ay,
payoff.
ay, ay. uh,
For those who like it, I mean, I'm sure, but you have to wait for a long, long time for that.
definitely not instant gratification.
Nope. People with little patience certainly won't be happy about that, but eh.
People with a lot of patience will be happy. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, if they like jokes, then sure.
Fair.
Well, I suppose on the scale of patience and long-term commitment versus instant gratification, I know a lot of gods and divine beings and goddesses tend to favor, one way or the other. What would you say, yourself?
You mean between instant gratification and long term?
Yeah, like say people showing up and like a big offering and a feast, just instant gratification ritual or like long term, commitment showing up regularly, stuff like that.
I mean, I like me some constantly showing up, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Given that I guess I have been a reader of One Piece, and given that in my very short streaming career, I actually managed to do the Pokemon Stadium 1 rental randomizer, I guess I give myself more towards the long term gratifications.
Fair, fair.
Like, don't get me wrong. I guess I would be like, if one is the short term and 10 is the definitely the absolute freaking patience of you know the embodiment of patience, I guess I would give me myself a 7.5 out of 10. Like,
Okay.
I obviously I enjoy you know getting immediately to being sometimes impatient and getting myself some instant gratifications, but then there are instances where I'm like, you know what, I guess I have to do the long term, but the result will speak for itself, basically. I mean, I have spent millennia now, with the help of my avatars, of course, to collect many multiverses. Um, and now as a VTuber, I guess I have my sights set on Earth. You could say that.
Fair, fair. I feel like that's, pretty high patience rating compared to a lot of people I know.
I mean, given how social media is going, yeah, no, I might have been like the idol of patience, so to speak.
Huh. So when
Well,
you say your sights are set on Earth, what, pray tell, are you
Yes.
considering with?
You know, as with every other multiverse, I do like to you know, quote unquote conquer it, put it in
Oh.
my collection. You know,
Hmm.
even as a, you know, beyond goddess, whatever you want to call it, I call myself, and yes, I am that egotistical. I call it myself Ultima. um, but yeah, as one, you still need followers, if you speak, if you will. Um, that's why I call my followers scale occultists, because scale, balance, scale and size, and
like,
I'm not making, I'm not shy about talking about, yes, yes, this is a cult. And yes, we also have cookies.
Mm.
cookie cult. Well, I hope
Cookie
they're not there
culture.
just for the
Mm.
cookies, but
Oh no, they're definitely not for the cookies only. I'm sure they're also there for the milk. Wink, wink.
understandable, understandable. And we do got somebody popping into chat using the add a question, so have a couple
All
of
right.
audience questions for you, if you don't
Of
mind.
course. Of course, of
All right.
course.
Eduardo asks, "What's your favorite and least favorite thing being a big collector?"
Um, I mean, my favorite thing is definitely um, you know, it's almost like you have small toys, or it's almost like treasure. To have that floating around. Some people don't even notice that I'm looking down at them, because probably I'm just that vast for them, that they think that the black of my eyes is like space, and then they see like this huge golden glowing iris, and they're like, what the fuck is that?
It's a moon in space, obviously.
Ah, of course, of course. It's
Of
just a moon, the size
course.
of probably multiverses. If they find an avatar, my true self is that vast that it's just unfathomably, scientists try to calculate more and more larger numbers, but they never gonna reach my true size. Um, but of course, talking about the least favorite part, I guess, um, probably has to do sometimes with me being impatient. Um, but I guess, you know, sometimes, even though I have magic for that, obviously, I have my powers. Dusting these collections might end up scattering some of these dimensions or multiverses, and then you have to go back and collect them, and it's kind of tedious sometimes. But um, for that, you have avatars. Even though it is kind of like my only communications with the mortal folk.
All
I
right.
think that yeah, that's it.
That sounds like pretty good answers.
Mhm.
And this one's definitely much more Eduardo question as well, since they submitted two questions.
Oh, okay.
Eduardo, the bread obsessed, asked, "Do you have bread in your domain? It's for homework." They're asking for homework purposes only.
I mean, I have bread, but if I may just get a little bit uh closer and show it a bit off here,
Oh.
I might have also a bakery. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
All right, coming down back. Sorry.
There we go. There we
Yeah,
go.
get on your knees. I mean, what? No.
Excuse me.
We got an
Exactly,
arrogant
no.
little mouse
That's
going
the only
on there,
time.
huh?
I have no qualms punishing those for being like, you know, I'm just saying. I will be nice because this is an interview. I'm not gonna be mean right now, but you should watch out what you're saying.
I'm not sure this gremlin has a filter sitting across from me, so we'll see how that goes along the interview, huh?
I'll try. I'll try.
All right. So to touch on something you mentioned earlier as well, what did you
Mhm.
Baphomet? Is that what you
Uh,
said?
Yeah, Baphomet. It's a wordplay on the demon of the goat demons of Baphomet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Now given that there are certainly, I'm sure there are some players that that like some MMOs. So I'm sure you heard of World of Warcraft, and admittedly, this design is much more referencing what is called a Draenei, a female Draenei. But given that they are kind of owned by a certain frosty company,
Yeah.
and talking with Sanus and others about that, they said like, oh, your design is definitely like it's very different from what you have from Draenei, or what the character creation is in World of Warcraft. Their options are more limited,
Mm.
but um you probably shouldn't call yourself a Draenei. And also these facial tentacles maybe should be removable, which then I decided to do. And I made a whole lore documentary about that. Um, I have then decided to go like, okay, what could be a good name? Again, with some asking and help. We came up with the Baphomet, name that
Mm.
is referencing the Baphomet, the goat demon. As I can show you. I do not have feet, but
Oh,
I certainly have them hooves, and
Oh wait.
Usul?
mhm, and they are there for certainly causing some mass destruction. I'm certainly
Makes sense,
not
makes sense.
what people, yeah, I'm certainly not what people would call a good goddess, even though for those friends, you know, I guess I am because I'm much more nicer and loyal to them to than to those who either are on neutral terms or being a bit mean.
Mhm.
But that is also like it is a part of the whole story of how did I came to be, and how things went down, and how my journey has been, aka my lore. And I guess sometimes it's a bit of behind the scenes, since this character isn't hasn't been made up in thin air. This character is now been probably 6 years. I have this character.
That's neat.
Been a while.
Yeah, it started all with World of Warcraft, and
Doesn't it all start with the World of Warcraft?
I guess kind
Anyone's
of.
ever been a nerd? I mean, I played myself, not World of Warcraft, just the campaign, but it was a good game.
Yeah, and then they decided to reforge it, or I guess how I would call it, regurgitate it. So
Oh,
I'm sorry. I don't want to be this person of, oh, I hate Blizzard because of what they did.
you mean Frosty Company? Frosty Company, not Blizzard. No.
Uh,
It's fine. It's
yeah, it's not like this Frosty Company. Wink, wink.
fine.
That I hate this company or I this company. I just think, as someone who played World of Warcraft for 13 years,
Gee.
um, I wish it could have done better, but no, I don't know. I get it, Sanis and Neffy being like, oh, I forgot his name already, but the guy who originally sat at the helmet of World of Warcraft and made this game is back, and everyone goes wild, and I'm like basically the Saitama meme, being like, okay, like I
Mhm.
have no attachment to this person, and I feel indifferent about it. Again,
Yeah.
hey, if they do better with him, cool, great. If they don't, I will not be shocked or surprised.
Circling back to your character, it looks like Eduardo has
Hmm,
asked another question.
okay.
Would you like to read it off, Sarah?
All right. Hmm. How was your meeting with your first small, tiny multiverse, aka planet and galaxy? And what have the ones who are aware of your existence react to that fact?
Well, so I guess if I would go with, you know, what is the first planet that I meet, it would probably be my home planet, Infinita, that I call it like that. In my lore, I like to spin around like with the wordings of infinity, obviously, and I guess I came up with like, it's almost like with Pokemon, where they take parts of one word, no matter the language, just the meaning that fits to the Pokemon,
Mm-hmm.
and then another word that in another language, and just combine it together. And I kind of made that with Infinita. Um, there is the word in infinity in Italian and in German. And so Infinita was the home of the Baphometes, and I was born in there. So normally it's more like you know the spiel about, oh, this person has been chosen to be something great. For me, it was becoming a god. but I had to hone my powers. Obviously,
Mhm.
it's not birthright, and then you don't have to do anything. It's not like with Dragon Ball and the Freezer Ray. For me, I still had to train, so I traveled across the planet and vanquished foes. And at the beginning, I was the benevolent, nice goddess, always listening to the people and you know make their wishes come true, so to speak. Though I always had this desire for freedom. Like, I don't know if I put that in the documentary, but at one point I was just laying there in the freezing colds and snow, had nothing to wear, but I was just smiling because fuck it, I just did whatever I wanted to do. I like that. Yeah, things happening. Anime tropes, I guess. Big explosions and stuff, fighting. Clothings do not survive sometimes. Yeah, but eventually I don't know, I just grew weary and tired of it. And now, to point this out, uh, I am not a fan. I don't like shrinking. I don't like,
Mhm.
you know, getting smaller. I don't like making that, doing that to others. If you like it, hey, that's cool by me. It's not my cup of tea. It's all good. Um, but eventually someone came in and said, and asked me to shrink a taller lady, and I'm trying really nicely to say, hey, please maybe reconsider. Hey, it's good to be big and stuff like that. And then there is this line where he basically said, "Oh, wow, I thought you would be listening," or something like that, or I thought you meant to be for us, like we own you or something like that. And that's when I snapped, basically. Uh I made a it was probably a 3/4 of a year rampage across the planet. I grew and I just said, nah, I don't want to be, chained up in this on this planet when I'm meant to be more. So I have to cut you off like cancer. And yeah, if you ever manage to get to Infinita, if there's still a huge scorching scar across the planet, that's me. That was me. And I'm and I'm not any kinds of being like ashamed about that. I don't care. It's my rules now, and that's how it goes. But anyone that survived on the planet, you know, started to be becoming my the people that worshipped me the first time. And well, after some growing, outgrowing the planet, and I guess uh, putting on some more changes for my design. I guess I basically inherited some of the things that the beauty of a succubi, or you know n- the good the good parts of a vampire or something like that. Just like you could say a bit more DNA. You could say technically 95% Baphomet, and then the rest is just the rest of the multiverses races. And that's how I am right now. And I guess that's how the first planet slash eventually multiverse has been taken over by me. And well, the reaction is basically you don't screw around with me. You just worship me and become part of my cult. And probably, yeah, they just shouldn't mess around with me, basically.
Yeah.
Was
Eh,
screw around and find out, right?
Basically.
definitely.
I guess just in ye olden days, very olden days, given my age, but you know, it's basically the same.
I feel like there's a couple of points that I want to put a pin in and come back to later as we move on to the first actual chunk of questions. So
Of course, of course.
we're gonna also, Eduardo, that question we'll ask it a bit later as well. For now, I'm gonna keep the focus going toward your experience with your the conquest of Earth, shall we call it? Your experience with streaming.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
you've mentioned a couple of months streaming already so far, right?
Yeah, it's close to 2.
Mm-hmm. So
I think it
during oh,
Yeah, no, I just said I think it will be exactly 2 months when it's the 3rd of March.
all right, all right. So
Hmm?
in your time streaming so far, are there any big moments that have stood out, positive or negative, that you'd want to talk about?
I mean, okay, yeah. I don't know if I want to start with something negative, but you know, yes, my voice isn't the perfect female voice. There is nothing like high pitched about it or nothing feminine, if you will. Um, it doesn't change the fact though if I'm putting in like dummy mommy into my um in my tags or put into the bio. Hey, I'm female, by the way. Uh, you know, there will be still some idiots who go in there and just go like, "Oh, that's a boy's voice. Wait, are you male?" Hey, it doesn't bother me that much. I'm, I'm just gonna go with my tactics. I'm gonna erase them, aka ban them, and just move on.
Mm-hmm.
I just find it just absolutely, disrespectful for people not even reading the bios or the tags, or you know, um, just go over to someone and just point something out that A isn't true, B is disrespectful, and C, you know, if you have nothing else to do besides either being a massive troll or being absolutely disrespectful, then, you know, why waste your time? You could do so much different stuff.
Definitely a lot of people with too much time on their hands and not enough moral in their heads, huh?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't bother with Twitter, like looking myself up on Twitter, but you you come across or you occasionally see on YouTube the video about a certain either YouTube or VTuber drama about things, and it annoys me to the point where like I get emotional and probably would swear like a sailor if I would come across these people responsible for things. Like, look, I don't care. I don't want to be part of your whatever, be it a agency or something. If your agency or whatever group is absolutely horrendous and treats people absolutely like disgusting human, like you treat them disgustingly, and basically they are, I don't know if that's TOS or not, but treat them like slaves. I'm sorry if I
You
did anything. If
Treat
I
them
did
like
anything about TOS, I'm very
oh
very
no,
sorry.
I
Actually,
it's not like you're trying to be like, "Oh, I am actively encouraging this." You're calling out
yeah,
bad
yeah,
behavior.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I know, but people can take this out of context, clipping. Ugh,
Well,
it's disgusting.
nobody here's
But
gonna be doing that, and if they try, like was mentioned, erase and ban and remove from anything we can. Huh?
yeah,
Mhm.
very true. But yes, okay. So positives. Sorry. As a goddess of balance, I have to point out the negatives and the positive.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so yeah, positive is definitely, and I think I talked about that with Sanis just very briefly on her stream, on a Pavel stream. Um, the thing is that I am immediately in like the 7 days of what you need to do for affiliate, actually cracking affiliate,
Mhm.
is pretty much amazing. And I have to agree that it certainly helped me being very connected or very much I'm here on Santa's stream, then I'm there on Neffy's stream, I'm here sometimes in your stream, Sorrow, and sometimes in other streams, and having this connection certainly helped me to get to affiliate in well, basically immediately. And right now, having already in 2 months or less than 2 months 110 followers, which, yes, I get it. Big streamers from YouTube or whatever, they get 100,000 immediately, but having 110 or 111 today followers in 2 months without really having prior streaming knowledge or anything like a big presence in social media is pretty amazing in my opinion. And yes, this goddess can also be humble. I get it. If I would go full on character, I'm like, oh yeah, of course it is deserved. I am me. I am so great. La di da di da. Um, but no, I think it's probably very important to definitely say, hey, or to acknowledge the fact that this is a big accomplishment, even for this in followers small VTuber. So I thank everyone for being part of this. I truly am.
It's certainly the connections and friends you make along the journey is definitely a very big thing to talk about, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it is
Mhm.
great for for certain, definitely.
The networking's nice for sure.
Someone who did not do that during the early days of their stream, and I remember the 9+ months of just streaming the same game many times a week and just being like, it's all on steady and low, it's going.
Mm,
So
Yeah,
I
just
can't
yeah, no, you can't what?
I
It,
can't imagine, the quick, actually get into that goal and being like, heck yeah, as opposed to the slow process I had.
yeah, I hear some people take a while to hit affiliate. Mostly it's the consecutive watchers. I think they get a lot of them. To hit affiliate that quick's really impressive.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think yeah, I talked with Sanis about that, that there are peoples out there, like streamers, even VTubers, that I think have done, at least half a year or even longer and still haven't hit affiliate yet,
Mm-hmm.
which is wild to me. I personally thought like, okay, I probably need like 2, 3 months maybe to hit affiliate, but it's like, no, 7 days. There you go. I have hit affiliate. Granted, given where I'm living, I still have to unlock it because even as a goddess or beyond goddess as myself, uh there are so many, you know, tax poops or
Yeah.
anything like
Earthly restrictions.
yeah, the earthly restrictions where I feel like, oh wow, they probably just give you a pile of paper that is as tall as a skyscraper and you have to write down everything. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you think you're done? Out of nowhere comes, oh, you also have to do this. I'm like, I get why you're doing this. I'm
Yeah.
like, I get it. I get it. You have to order everything correctly. There shouldn't be anything that might be, a gray area or anything. But at which point is it like, oh, this is more of an annoyance than actually help? And I
Mm.
feel like I have reached that point.
Have they given you the juggling test yet? No.
I At this point, I wouldn't be surprised.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right, right. Yeah, all the hoops they want to cover their own butts with all the paperwork they got to do, so they got to put everybody through the ringer. Unfortunately, huh?
Yeah, it's all
Uh,
legality and where business is housed, and yeah, like
Honestly, I kind of it gets me into the mood that I just want to smash one of their buildings. May I?
Go ahead, go ahead.
All right, then. Sorry, I just turn to the right or turn to the left, and I think one of them are quick
Yeah,
on.
that the one
Yep.
behind me just had a nice, shattering.
Ah, good, good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I try to be as well mannered as I can be, but sometimes I'm getting angry and I'm just can't help myself. That's kind of how I felt with my Pokemon Stadium one rental
Good
randomizer.
thing Big Squeak Inc. Can fund their repair. You know.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, the
Sorry
city
to
may or may
actually
not be
funnel money
leveled and
into these
rebuilt
various buildings.
regularly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
for
mm.
upkeep.
I mean, that's fair.
Hmm.
I guess I could rebuild it if with my magic, but then again, that would just bring back those higher ups, and I wouldn't I would make a disservice there. So keep it like it is.
Gotcha, gotcha. Let's see. Before we jump over the next question, I will pick up that question Eduardo added a while back. So, question: if you like to nom on planets or galaxies, what's your favorite taste of them?
Hmm. It's almost like asking for favorite food.
Right,
Uh,
right.
it's. I mean, I, I'm a sucker for the spaghetti. I guess I have some, if you will, Italian blood in me, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, then again, I mean, I do like chicken. Yes, everyone who knows World of Warcraft, put in your Leroy Jenkins memes in there. Um, I when it comes to sweets, though, I'm just thinking. I mean, yes, I see the chocolate in front of me, and I like chocolate. I I admit I like chocolate. Do like me some nougat though too. You know, obviously people would probably say, "Oof, planets they probably taste like iron and rocks and stuff like that." But if they become not tasty, not unedible is the wrong word. I just eat them like it's nothing, of course. But if they taste bad, you just use some magic, make them taste like something that you like, and there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
That's the spirit.
is it like
Oh,
the Saturn Sunday?
maybe.
Pluto pudding? I mean,
Then again, I think Saturn was the one with the ring, so I just have a donut there, and mm, where to dunk it in? Well, the Milky Way. All right, there we go.
do you even want to talk about the Uranus?
I-
Mm,
I said it the correct way.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, talking about eating planets. Yep.
That joke is inevitable when eating planets is brought up, huh?
Yep.
uh,
Mhm.
I mean, given that I watch wrestling, and they make that joke so many times about. I'm like, all right, I heard them all. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's like what it's like that one joke. What is a wrestler's favorite movie? It's Rocky, because that's the only thing they're gonna reference. So they probably only watched Rocky.
Mm.
Huh? I now
I-
bouncing back to the streaming questions real quick.
Of
So,
course.
you also mentioned, your debuting. Congrats on the debut and everything
Thank
related
you.
to that. How did it go?
Mhm. I think it went very well. Honestly, I had a whole spiel at the beginning, and then immediately just hear the followers sound. I'm like, okay, I'm thrown out. Wait, wait, okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I definitely had it was a fun time. Sadly, I couldn't save it anymore because I wanted to export it, so upload it to YouTube, but
Mm-hmm.
YouTube told me I couldn't do it. I thought it was because I hadn't had any videos uh, on there yet. But then eventually, I just figured out, oh, I need a damn phone number so I can upload
Ah,
videos longer than 15 minutes.
Oh,
Uh, I hated that.
two-factor authentication and all that, human
Yeah,
paperwork stuff.
just another earthly restriction.
these mortals and their laws and stuff.
Here to get carried away with them.
Mm.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh, but
how
as
didn't you
someone,
know you had to do that? I'm like, where should I know that?
yeah, but as someone who works in tech myself, it's you want to cover your ass to avoid any uh oh, you stole my property kind of thing. It's like, nope, that's a legitimate person. We're covering it every single angle.
If I can be honest for 1 second, I am a absolute tech noob. Honestly, I don't know, for example, how to build a PC. Like, one of my goals is, to switch over from a laptop to a well-built PC with 3 screens. So I have, you know, I can at least play some, um, you know, moderately challenging games when it comes to the PC requirements, and still, use VTube Studios and stream. But, people tell me, "Oh, you need to go to that website. There you can get parts. How to build these things? Oh, it's very easy. Just look it up on YouTube." And like,
No. Look it up on YouTube is not very helpful,
uh, it's just like oh, you just have to look up that YouTube video. Oh, great. Look, I'm a person that can fuck up even the simplest things when it comes to technology. So don't think I'm at your, skill level when it comes to building PCs. Don't ever think about that. I would probably need someone to either show me or someone holding my hand to build a PC. Just the other day, I heard about, you have to discharge this thing or your PC goes, this part goes melting, like the hard drive goes kaput,
huh?
goes kaboom or
The most common
something like.
thing I hear about that is you need to make sure you don't have any static electricity on you or you could fry your video card. I think that's what, they were saying.
Maybe I don't know. I just heard the other day from, I think, Neffy, when, when her, I think, father built a PC and then he fried that thing. I don't know. Again, I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to uh mostly PC stuff. So I look, whenever I get myself to buy stuff, when I get affiliate and probably a part-time job, and you know get to buy PC parts from saved up money, I definitely need someone to help me with A, what exact parts to buy, and B, how to build it. Because I know, you just need these things, but then when you look up the list in like websites about, oh, this PC part, I don't know, like a case, for example, you get like this huge list of cases. I'm like, well, what case? Well, buy a case. Well, thanks, buddy.
Geez. So I could walk through the whole process going on through, but I think that's a later type of thing, huh? As I can talk about, you usually want to start from the motherboard and you build everything around that.
Yeah,
So
mm.
yeah,
Well, I think if even if I would type in motherboard, I am sure there's like 20 sides of motherboards. I'm like, which one?
that's extremely underselling it because there's motherboards for every single thing you possibly want.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you do want help walking through the Earthling computer technology stuff, I can definitely walk you through as much of it as I can at some point because a lot of those tutorials aren't that great. I know there are some
That
websites where you could just build the whole computer and you don't have to worry about anything else there. So
I mean, that would be appreciated at least. I mean, of course, if there is a website that just goes like, "Hey, we can send you in the PC that you wish already built in. You just have to, you know, put in a power source and then just go." I would be absolutely happy. I would be the happiest divine being that you could ever seen, as I would relax in my mansion and just sip some wine and see the magic happens. But
You're
some
definitely a fair few of
jealous.
those. So we'll have to send some to you later on.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, obviously, I don't have the money yet, but every help, preemptively not having to panic, buy stuff as my
Hmm.
laptop is dying, is appreciated.
Yeah, definitely before computers explode is a good time to get things done, huh?
I, d- you like, I have a history about laptops about to die, so I have to make a panic buy. So yes,
Oh, we'll definitely get to that after we're done chatting here then, huh?
that's fair. That's fair.
And let's see. Looking at what's next on my docket of questions here. So, you mentioned a few times that communities and the networking with people. Are there
Mhm.
any big communities or small communities or any influences as well that you've either taken some notes from or might have been inspired by initially?
Oh, I definitely have a inspiration about becoming a VTuber actually. So that all started like was it 2 years ago, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. As a fellow goddess of VTuber, goddess of growth VTuber. Her name was Giant Growing Vixen, so or GG in short. I don't know if many still remember about her, but the pink furred vixen that sadly was too spicy for Twitch, and I guess eventually then also for the other platform. I think Trovo was the name of that platform, the streaming platform that is basically owned by Tencent. And yeah, eventually after some things that happened, I think also with the I don't want to say too much because I think the whole she couldn't use her model anymore thing shouldn't be too much out of here because I don't want to throw shade at anyone in there because I guess they were basically bound. Their hands were bound, so they were forced to do that. But eventually, without a model to use, she decided to kind of quit the internet itself.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't want to say I'm like now the holding her banner up, but I definitely want to show as also part of a Lootsome VTuber that I definitely I have her on my wall in my mansion, which is part of my streaming overlay. And you know, as a thank you for inspiring me to become a VTuber in the first place, I definitely hold her in regard as my inspiration and as as a thanks for giving me the inspiration to become one. That would definitely be as an inspiration for me. I forgot the other any other part of the question. Like I know there was inspiration and some other things.
Inspiration and also just communities as well if you have any
Oh,
thoughts on.
I mean, so obviously I know the Giantess and growth community,
Mm-hmm.
and you know as obviously like like every community has good people and has some bad eggs and has some tribalism and some people who are like very open about you know letting people in. Um, honestly, and then just as a small detour, a thing that I really hate is tribalism in communities. I hate like I get the fact that you don't want to invite everybody. Some people can be very bad people, and letting them into that community can rotten the apple from the core. I get that, but just this whole like in MMOs, in wrestling, even sometimes even in VTubing and in very rare cases, I think some well at least in my case in the size community, just saying this is better than the other thing. And if you think differently, you are absolutely wrong, a moron, brain dead, and you should just getting kicked out is
Ooh.
I hate that. I hate that with a passion. Like let people enjoy what they like. If it's not something that is against the law or harms you, and no, your feelings isn't a valid factor for this one, let them have it. Like, look, okay, I don't like shrinking, and look, nothing against you, but giant male isn't my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
But I let people have their. If you like to be a giant male, look, then go for it. I'm not going there and say, "Hey, you are absolutely wrong. Only giantess are allowed. Get the hell out of here, or I'm gonna destroy you."
Oh my.
What does that? What does that? You know, where does that get you? It gets you nowhere. It just shows you're a big ass, and you just talk shit. It's nothing. It's absolutely dumb. I hate that. I hate that when people go with the comparison of, oh, WoW is better than oh, WoW is better than Final Fantasy 14 because you're entitled, or the end game is sucky, or or FF14 players going like, oh, we don't want World of Warcraft players in there. They're all toxic. Why being themselves very toxic? I I think I had this discussion with Sanis before. Look, I've been someone who had, when it comes to World of Warcraft, you know, I had the typical World of Warcraft experience of people are salty, and they're looking for raids. They are absolutely toxic. PvP is the absolute hellscape and stuff like that. And I came over to Final Fantasy 14. They're very open. They're very nice. Look, this is just my experience. Maybe I'm lucky with the server that I picked. Maybe I'm just that. But when someone says in Final Fantasy 4, or like when Senna says, "Hey, I didn't like my experience in Final Fantasy 14 because Balmung is a rotten place and they hated her for doing role play, even though now Balmung is basically the ERP, well, the I don't know, a role play weirdo server that sometimes go ERP and sometimes don't. I don't have the experience, so I cannot say that. I said like, okay, I didn't have the experience like that. I had the typical WoW and FF14 experience. That doesn't mean though I discredit your experience by saying no, but I had a different experience, so my experience goes for all of it. I'm just saying, okay, yeah, my experience is different, but that doesn't mean I don't believe you. It doesn't mean that what you say is wrong. It's sad that it happened. I wish you had a different experience, and I wish you know you had a good experience so you could hang out with me in FF14. But if it didn't happen, and if World of Warcraft treats Santa's better, then hey, that's cool for me. Like what you like.
Eh, Definitely very important to let people, actually do their own things as opposed to having a lot of people force their thoughts on others, huh?
Yeah, I mean, even in wrestling, if they go like, "Oh, AEW is better than WWE," no, you're wrong because this and that, and guys, and that's why wrestling right now does, it goes like wrestling is becoming quote unquote bit more mainstream now because the product is going better. But guys, there are people putting their lives on the line to entertain you, and you had you had nothing better to do than just to go, oh lol, this guy said something, he's an idiot, because over there in my company that I support is way better, and everyone who doesn't support my company is just not a wrestling fan or just stupid, stuff like that. I'm like, enjoy what you like. If if both companies doing, putting on great performances or great product, that means, the others might step it up, or, everyone can enjoy it, more people go over to their product, and then the wrestlers get more payment, which they deserve, honestly, for just, injuring their, shortening their lives and stuff like that. And just enjoy yourself and don't be like, make this a vitriol about, no, my thing is better than yours, and that, and X, made up reasons because of this, and you should join me or go to hell or something. I hate tribalism. This is one of my biggest pet peeves is tribalism.
Definitely understandable. A whole lot of people judging others and making claims when none of it's really needed, huh?
Not only not needed, just I don't know, either it's a lie, it's just a straight up lie, just made up, make believe, or just it's just unnecessary, basically.
Pointless loyalty to pointless things, looking at stuff like the console wars or stuff like that is pretty clear examples of the ridiculousness, huh?
Yeah, that too. Even though I haven't looked up into the console wars themselves, look cool. At one point, with the Xbox One, where it tried to become more like a um home cinema almost, where it's like no games, and then like had like some complicated way to get um uh back playability, for from Xbox 360 to Xbox One. And then, PS4, Sony with their big zinger, like, oh, how you gonna play PS3 games into PS4 games? And then they just hand over that controller. Ooh, big zinger. I don't care. Like, wow, that was a fun zinger. Nowadays I'm like, just play what you want. I don't fucking care if they play Xbox or PS5. Play with a Switch for all I care.
I think the context around that back and forth was Xbox was trying to do copy protection on physical game copies. So you couldn't just share a disc around and be like, hey, here's my favorite game, borrow it for a weekend and play it or something like that.
Yeah.
So while I don't understand, the brand loyalty stuff, it was a well deserved slapback of no, don't put on disc DRM game. Like, if you're buying digital copies, yeah, you can't share that around and just hand stuff out, but you got a physical disc, you should be able to pass it around, Here, my favorite DS game, here. Still PlayStation game played, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, I get it. Yeah, fair criticism is fair criticism. I get that,
mm,
but then you see like, you see those idiots coming out of the woodworks, just going like, "Oh, PS4, Sony destroyed Xbox, Microsoft, whatever."
or
I don't
all the
care.
yelling back and forth. Oh, this console has no exclusives, losing, or oh, look at all these features, right? Right.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like the same with wrestling. Oh, AW. Oh, they had a terrible year. Oh no, they're going down. They're going under. Look, guys, we had this conversation with another company that you thought would be dying. Like you gave it the deathbed at least 3 times in its thing, in its time span, and it still keep going, and it is doing
Mm-hmm.
worse than AEW. So shut the hell up.
Hey, yeah, yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
as I said, I try to be well mannered, but sometimes it's hard. It's really hard.
It definitely sounds like something that needs more people to just take a step back and look at the details rather than just spout out. Brand name, this is my favorite, and things like that, huh?
Yeah, but mostly its brand name is my favorite, and then
Mm.
you also have to agree with me. Otherwise, I'm gonna, block you and tell you you're stupid and you should go to hell.
Ay, ay, ay. Toxicity of some people, huh?
Toxicity is some also one of the worst things ever.
That's
I
when you
mean,
just be bigger goddess and say, "All right, peace," and walk away.
I think I will not bring peace. I will probably bring down my wrath and like forget about Thor's thunders. When I'm coming down,
No,
everything is done.
just because you're physically big doesn't mean you can't solve things like a mouse might. Mostly because I have no other choice.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bit more authority than the mouse.
Exactly.
Because it,
Like, no, listen to me. I'm kind because I have to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
All right, let's see.
what what
Touching
is your
back
next
on the
wish?
question. Oh,
hmm?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Go,
but
go
yeah,
on,
Touching
go
back
on. Yeah.
on the questions and looking back over the time streaming for the couple of months mentioned,
right,
is
right, right.
there anything? Oh, there's a couple ways to word this question. Initial way was,
Okay.
is there anything you'd change over those couple of months? And the other way to word it is there anything that you wish that you were told earlier into your stream?
Mm, well, if we go technically, yes, about all of these loops and the affiliate thing, but
Mm-hmm.
um, really anything changing? I don't know. I mean, hmm, besides the odd scuff stream about like once I tried doing Pokemon Stadium 2, the rental randomizer, just the game eventually just crashing on me because I guess the game said like it's like the game sensed me, having been through Pokemon Stadium 1, the rental randomizer, and they're like, nah, you have suffered enough. We're just not gonna work,
I
so you don't
see.
have to go through that. Um, anything really changing? I mean, I would like to change the fact that sometimes, and this is probably just me still learning to be a streamer and just having one screen because of laptops. Is I guess sometimes I don't see the chat on in the right time, and then you see either someone new popping and saying hi, or someone who usually watches saying hi and how are you, and might have been already 5 minutes ago, but you try to say hi and go your shtick with you know your usual introductions that sometimes you have in your mind, sometimes you stumble over words, um but by the time they probably have moved on because the internet is very fast, and I would have wished to reach out to them, but I guess I can only do so much, sadly. I know this sounds weird from a divine being like myself, but it sometimes these mortal restrictions hit you like a wave of nausea.
That makes sense, and especially single monitor, it is definitely hard to keep track of things and double check things like, oh, is stream still running good and all that.
Mm,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I
I
know at least
feel
one person who uses their phone as a little chat display to make a second screen.
yeah, some people do. I know there's settings somewhere that you can try to decrease the lag between your chat and when you see it. I believe. I mean, I at least use Stream Elements myself for that, and I know you can kind of try to mitigate some of that. But I mean, I think ultimately, at least, if people watch you enough, they kind of get to know that there might be some lag and understand, but enjoy you anyways because I have a few, at least one friend who they're either so into art or they just have a slow chat, but they might not reply for like 2 or 3 minutes. But it's like, you know what? I'm still here. I'm still enjoying the content. They'll get to me when they do.
I know my
But I
Yeah,
feel
that
brain
like
lags
you'll at
too.
least, yeah, I feel like you'll get those people at least at some point who'll either understand that, like, oh, there's a lag, or oh, hey, there's something off they might not notice. And you'll get those people as time goes on that kind of help just off to the side. Like they're watching, but they're also gonna be the ones who speak up if they feel something's off and they know what your stream style is and they just kind of vibe with it.
that's fair. I guess that I guess this goes more for the new ones, of course.
Yeah,
You see
it's
the
a
first time
new.
chatter, it's like, oh, well, I mean, I just clicked on like, sometimes you have games on full screen, and then you just check in like either in OBS, you see the chat, or sometimes on Twitch, and like, oh, well, there was a new person, just said
Mhm.
hi or like hugs, and they're like, you go with your shtick, but either they just moved on, or I don't know, maybe they're just lurking. Who knows?
A lot of people do, fall into that lurk real fast as well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Some are sometimes working while watching streams. So
Hmm.
then they get a phone call, then they gotta wait.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I've
It's
also heard of some streamer tools that can overlay chat on top of whatever game you're playing so you can see it no matter what you're doing. So
Oh,
might
true,
be worth,
true.
taking a glance at that if we can hunt something like that down.
maybe, yeah. At least for the time being, I feel like when once I achieved having that PC, it feels like, oh wow, I probably have to do a re-debut, because damn, that's some improvement.
Fair, fair. Whenever new computers roll around, it's very exciting.
Mhm.
Hmm. Also, I guess I'm seeing just right now in the chat. There is endlessly big, which in uh, in my lore is by the way, my beloved Jessica. By the way, just
Cool.
yeah. Uh, it is funny that people really, some are just not not bothered by it. So I'm happy about that, at least.
Hmm.
It there is this whole, not subculture. There's this whole, uh attached to your idol, thinking that you might be the one, and I'm not dealing with that. So there we go.
And parasocial elements, I think, is the
Yeah, parasocial.
yeah.
I forgot the word for a second. I'm like, was
Yeah.
it oh no, there it is, parasocial.
Hmm. All right, looks like we've hit a nice little lull, and looks like we're nearing the end of this batch of questions. So, to call
Hmm.
back to one that Eduardo added in chat a while back, hmm,
All right.
how do you classify yourself in size? Big, very big, way too big, or bread enjoyer?
I had read that ahead of time.
First, first of all, there is never a too big. So
Hey.
so we have to cancel that one out.
Fair, fair.
I don't know what bread enjoyer is, but as I mentioned, I probably have a bakery or even more than that. But um, maybe I have an entire planet full of who knows how to classify my size really. Um, I did make jokes with Gigi and just in general sometimes like, you know, what is your size? Yes. Or if we're going to with gaming, with gaming knowledge, I am EA big, so to speak. Um,
Mhm.
but my true size is I look, my growth is too fast. My size is too much, and all of this is just rapidly speeding up, especially with my powers. So,
Yeah, big.
I don't want to say any size because I don't want any viewers just, have their minds exploding. So,
Like an eldritch horror. Incomprehensible.
yeah, incomprehensible, or just I guess one Sylvia Ultima. That's my size, if you will.
Fair, fair. And I know infinity is a real funky concept, and asking mortals to wrap their head around that, there's going to be some side effects, though.
Eh, yeah, the funny part is even if they just manage to finally understand infinity, they still have to keep going because my size is beyond that.
Hmm. Oh, fair in the mortal brain. One Sylvia tall makes sense, huh?
Yeah, it's it's just simple and easy.
Hmm.
But ultimately, you can shift, right?
Well, my true self doesn't shift. I have avatars for that. That's my interaction with the small folk.
Mm.
You-
Golden rule of thumb, if your size is impossible to comprehend and you love to brag about it, name the size after yourself.
I mean
Exactly.
that's Jessica for you. She knows me too well.
Good, good. Definitely good to have people who understand and get the get the mood right and the feeling and the thoughts, huh?
I mean, absolutely.
Looking at my notes, something akin to what was just answered was in there, so I'll put a twist
Hmm,
on the question. So
yes.
talking back to the start of the lore, whatnot.
Hmm.
Mentioned that particular the Baphomet, I believe the particular race.
Yes.
Yeah. So question would be, what would the average non-deity Baphomet height be around? Would you say?
Um, I would say either something. So of course there are, you know,
Mm-hmm.
exceptions, but I would say something between 7 and 13 feet. I think the tallest one was around 33 feet. Yes, there is a massive spectrum, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
demons don't work like human. You know, or well,
True.
I
True.
guess demon-like races don't work. You know, again, the earthlings, or the mortals, think about aliens and they have this very specific mindset. Mostly either they're absolutely grotesque, hideous, something like that, or they're absolutely sexy. um I think I just went a bit like, you know you throw it's not like throw some dices, but it's like I have I give it more lineage, I give it more space to breathe in a sense.
Okay. That's a little bit of curiosity because a lot of the times, when people are talking, especially people keep growing and growing, do
Hmm.
tend to lose touch of like, oh, okay, well, this is what the usual was before, and we've completely broken that, right?
Mhm.
I mean, that's fair. Again, hey, I'm a growth addict. I
It's
I
true.
I
It's true.
admit that. I admit that. So, if you will, for my true size, the concept of, numbers is just redundant at this point. But there are still like avatars around that are maybe Amazonian height only. Like I think the smallest one was like 10 feet. But they eventually grew, and eventually they basically donated their size to me, to my true self.
They were a part of you after all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
But that's it is just one part of, or like one way of me to grow really. Like I have just a few things that I've written down in my lore as, oh, this is a way how I grow. Obviously I grow, just constantly grow. I don't really stop it. It just all fuels and adds up to my growth. You know, if you would sit here and just list off things that doesn't make me grow, we would have like, it would be shorter. But but I guess one really famous way of growing for me at least, because I have written that down, since I don't think many use that way of growing, is basically whenever something in media grows, like, if we go with the example of good old, I think it was Super Mario Land. Was it Super Mario Land 1 or 2? The basically where Yoshi carries baby Mario around and, goes through the level. Um when Bowser just, gets the growth spell from Kamek, and, is basically this huge thing in the background coming closer towards you. Yeah, all that growth goes also right into me. Like if little Jimmy is playing that game and that is happening, guess what? That is fueling my growth as well.
But if you consume little Jimmy, does that also fuel the growth?
I mean, yes, but
That's as far as I know.
I mean, technically yes, but nothing against those war VTubers, like Vexoria or something, but I feel like warring people to fuel growth is kind of like, it's very common, and I wanted to write down things that isn't as common as that,
Mhm.
which I at least felt like, oh, no one has ever, said, oh, I grow whenever, uh in the Power Rangers, that monster is starting to grow. I grow that amount. No one has written down that. So I'm like, you know what? Why not put it in?
It's definitely unique to have, that as another aspect of anytime something in media grows, applies to you
Yeah.
too, huh?
There is a whole channel about macro monsters, or, growth in media. So I'm like, why not put it in?
Fair, fair.
And I mean, technically, you could also count in, like, since it is media, I mean, VTubers. So, so hey, guess what? Anyone who's doing a growthathon, thanks for the extra growth, buddies. I really appreciate that. Don't worry, I will always I will always keep you in the palm of my hand, as you can see.
Understandable, understandable. Definitely enjoy what you enjoy and keep on keeping on. Yep.
Keep on growing in followers and inside.
Exactly. All right. Now, before I jump to a couple of last questions, since we did jump ahead a little bit further in my notes here, did want to
Okay.
give a few moments just in case where I open up the floor questions to both of you. So, Sylvia, if you wind up having any topics you want to talk about or questions you want to ask us, feel free to. And
Okay.
Lula, if you've got anything in the brain as well,
I may.
you may.
All right.
Like right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
oh, okay. I thought you were
No, no,
gonna
that's like
circle back to some
no, that was me
other
saying that
question.
right there. Like,
Oh, okay. Hmm. Is Eduardo still here? No.
possible.
What is your favorite bread? No. Um,
I
Italian.
hmm.
No.
Ooh. I'm a sourdough kind of mouse, but you know.
I mean, yeah, but I do love the ciabatta, but
Oh,
Ooh,
chocolate's
mm.
good.
there's Eduardo saying, "I'm always here" in response to you, Lula.
um. Hmm. I mean, what? Since you're still at least new to streaming
Right.
yourself,
Hmm.
um, what is like a goal that you would have to incorporate either on your stream, with your stream, or something at least within, the next year or so?
Within the next year, this might be a bit tough. Obviously, things always will change. Subject to change and stuff like that. But um, so right now I have this. I have projects that I want to do. I'm currently doing one already in um Wrestling Wednesday. I always play my wrestling games, and basically the huge project in there is I am crafting myself a wrestling quote unquote federation where I have giantess, goddesses, growth loving ladies, etc., etc. Um, original characters or VTubers, and in various wrestling. Since there are certain wrestling games that have positives and negatives over others. For example, right now with the first game that I have, WrestleMania 19, you have some very fun special stages that you know it- that are unthinkable in the other ones. But for example, the creation suit has limitations, and um, for example, they only have like per memory card, you can only make 16 best. Meanwhile, on others, you don't have this kind of crazy, matches you can do. But in contrast, you can, you know, have a better creation suit. Plus, you can have up to 100 rest creative wrestlers you can have. So I want to make, uh, those, um, these VTubers and OCs, and for example, have them, have the computer duke it out just for the fun of the stream, and maybe eventually, I don't know if that's in a year or maybe in a couple of years, but thinking about maybe making like a channel where I get to more dictate a story that I want to tell for people to either enjoy or I guess not. It depends on how it goes. That is at least one of my big projects. Obviously, it is a huge one because I want to make this as good as possible, which means I probably also have to create like maybe make some graphics. Maybe this is where also I have currently picked up pixel art to make stuff like that. Maybe do like either match graphics or titles in pixel art. And well, something that I couldn't do in pixel art is obviously like entrance music. So that would probably require cost, which
Mhm.
that comes back to affiliate. Maybe eventually, doing a sub or a donathon whenever I'm quote unquote big enough in following for stuff like that. Um, side jobs, whatever. It a bunch of things, and maybe eventually also, I don't know, Kofi or like Patreon, maybe. I again don't want to say something that is like, oh, she's just doing this for the money. That just obviously people would love to, be, use streaming as their only income and still have a living. But, you know, I'm doing this to show my creativity and, show these projects that I have in mind to see, hey, I show this to the world. Maybe they like it. Hopefully they like it. That would be obviously perfect. You know,
And if
I
I
hope they
may,
are at least entertained. Oh yeah, sorry.
yeah, just to put it bluntly, for anybody who looks at streams and go, "Oh, they're only in it for the money." If you see somebody putting up, new stuff on screen, new art, new anything, new assets, that costs money. Where do you think the money you send in support goes? Back into the stream a lot of the times, right?
Oh, trust
Oh,
me, I had put in so much money just to get this starting.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I started with the PNG and got a quote for, or Saru was nice to gift me a newer form. And
The
then
scuff 3D
um,
V read.
it was still fun. It was fun. As soon as you get like a model with rigging and movement, it's like opens up stuff. It's just, yeah. But yeah, no, I had to, stream. It's like you too, you stream, we make a little money, then we put that into like years upgrading your model rigging, me acquiring one, and then the money can go into new games to play with people, collab with people. It'll get there. I mean, at least that's how streaming is to me, just like you, Saru. Hopefully you as well, Sylvia.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, it was like I was lucky because I was like one of the first commissioners of the artist. Only a friend of mine made one before, so the art itself, what you see here,
Mm-hmm.
costed like 350. Then the rigging costed another 200 plus. And then, well, I needed a stream overlay because I don't want to just stream in the background of the void. So
Mm-hmm.
Gigi had sent me, talked about, recommended me someone, and his art is amazing. But also, yeah, that costed like 700. So yeah, that was already 1,000, and then you had to add like stream deck, a microphone in there, maybe also a ring light. So yeah, we are already at the 1,500 bucks.
Oh wow.
I mean, in the end, it is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Even I guess some would say, well, that's just a 2D model, but it's a good 2D model, and I guess the rigger really emphasized on the jiggle physics, not when you bounce up and down, but to the side. But
Mm-hmm.
Careful, you might poke an eye out. No.
I think I
True.
would do more than just poking an eye out at this point. Like I have probably, if I swing, if I jiggle hard enough, I think we might have some buildings collapsing.
Very
Sure.
easily.
Yeah, and that's just from this avatar. If we would go with planet-sized avatars, then that's another story.
Everything's got a cost and everything's a process. You can make do with stuff
Yeah.
beforehand, but the nice stuff does takes time.
Yeah, and I'm certainly someone who doesn't like to do things half, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm being honest. Like, even one of my projects being like one of my ideas at least being like, oh, I want to do like a Pokemon United Tabletop campaign, which is, uh I don't want to say basically D&D but with Pokemons, but it has, it
It's a
does
tabletop RPG.
yes. yeah, tabletop RPG, and you know, it doesn't have really anything like a module. So of course you have to think about a campaign all in your head. And with me, I do like to introduce some at least regional variants or some new Pokemons, and I want to do art of them. Then you need art for maps, maybe even like art for art for characters, art for, if you like, landscapes, to home, to really hammer home um how the environment really looks like that you're currently in. Then you need
Mhm.
themes and stuff. This also costs a lot of money, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that also wouldn't be in the thousands or something like that. So that would also be like a big far-fetched goal. Haha, far-fetched,
Far
get
fetched.
it?
Yeah.
uh a big far-fetched goal, if that would be like for a donathon or a subathon, if anything like that.
Hmm.
And with pixel art, it's, I guess it's compared to the other two, yes, a bit smaller, but I like the idea. But when I have a creative idea, I like to uh make it come true. Pixel art, I like to make my big friends, you know, uh, Sanis, Neffy, as I said, endlessly big with Jessica and stuff. I would love to make them, make like a mod, a big, not a big mod, but like a Binding of Isaac mod with, you know, two modes with growing and giantess, and make them characters and make them maybe bosses, make the areas more appropriately looking, maybe even some items. um Obviously I have no idea how to mod. I don't have no idea how to mod Mugen. I have no idea how to mod Binding of Isaac. In terms of modding, I probably have zero experience. um but doing things like that, doing the Mugen stuff, make a, since there are fighting games of, or mods of Mugen, why not make them with them, big giantess or goddesses fighting fighting game, why not? Why the hell not? I mean, there were videos out there in the very distant past, probably have been taken down, but on YouTube, where there have been, you know, they've made like a giantess character, or like, fighting game, quote unquote. And even with now Pokemon Infinite Fusion, they have currently the character customization d- demo out. It's pixel art. I could make them
Mhm.
as trainers, or if you want, as fusion sprites. That's where pixel art comes in, and I would like to jump on that opportunity. Why not?
Yeah,
It's
I
a
bet
whole
each
thing. And
pixel. Oh,
sorry,
no, you're good. I was just gonna say, I bet each pixel for you is like several miles by several miles big, right? That's one
I'm.
pixel.
I mean, I'm currently learning. So, look, if you see for some reason a universe that looks like a human fighter 16 by 16 pixel, that probably was just me. Sorry, there is no shading. I don't care. I was learning.
Step by step, how it goes.
Now, if you see the 32 pixel one, that has shading.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I post these things on Twitter and Blue Sky, even though I guess Twitter is now just a platform for me to talk with friends, because I don't gain any tractions. I don't really care though, because it's been now for so many times, and like, I don't know, and I don't really care if it's Twitter don't liking VTubers, or Twitter just melting down, or people making fake accounts of you and take away any attention, or making troll accounts. I don't care. when you see that you have more interactions on Blue Sky than on Twitter, then I guess I'll focus just on Blue Sky. Done.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's just as simple as that. Don't have to
it
go
can be.
go
It
to
can be.
the
Yo.
yeah, you don't have to go on the big, the big social platform. Oh, I have to become famous there. Otherwise, I'm, never gonna make it. I'm not worth it. I'm just, nah. I get more followers on Twitch and also more interactions on Blue Sky, so I don't care.
Because you're happy. What matters?
Yeah,
Do what brings joy and all that, huh?
true. But I think that's probably about it when it comes to projects. Well, okay. I think I have one more, but that's kind of like it's kind of mixed with the goal question from earlier. Um, one of my pipe dreams. Let's put it pipe dream. Is to bring the Giantess communities more together. Like even with the VTubers, obviously. Like I have made my Discord server basically. I build it kind of for that. I have like multiple channels and for VTubers and then Giantess VTubers. Um, you know, pipe dream is obviously like having those Giantess VTubers in that Discord server. Like, oh, there is Sanas, there is if we go with big ones, oh, there is Victoria, there is Chonky, there is Gas, there is Evelyn, there is Queen Kaiju Pixel, for example. Have them in that, for that, and to make like collabs with that, use that server for collabing with them. Again, it's a pipe dream, but honestly, if we're just gonna say, oh, it's a pipe dream, it's never gonna happen. At least I want to try it, though.
Mm.
Gotta put in
If
that
you don't,
effort. Yeah.
yeah, if you don't try it, you can't say, oh, it doesn't work. Obviously, it doesn't work because you didn't try. So,
Hmm.
come on. Maybe that's also part of the reason why I'm currently on this trip of doing mostly retro, but also kind of difficult or grindy games and complete them 100%. Not just only to prove myself, hey, once I said I'm gonna do something, I'm just gonna do it. I just, maybe it's sometimes just, sometimes it is crushing someone's favorite dream, childhood dream or game. But it is like, okay, I'm just proving myself, doing it 100%. If I can do that, why shouldn't I try with the other one? Why should I try with the bigger goal?
Was pushing forward. Always got goals. Definitely a good way to go about.
Yep. Just just noticing on my like on my server, is it still going? Yeah, it is still going. Don't worry.
Mm.
Still still large and in charge, everybody.
Damn right.
At this point, either you do have questions or topics to keep going on about. Floor's still open. Otherwise, I might wind up going towards the wrap up questions as we wind down. So, anything in either of these heads to talk about?
Hmm.
Don't put pressure on my head. It has
Oh, we
nothing.
can't put pressure on your head without those cherries going squish too.
That's true.
Hmm, hmm. Well, I'm just looking like, oh, did I have anything in my lore doc that the document that I should probably mention?
Good place
Um,
to look for ideas.
I mean, yeah.
That's right. Anyways, what? You have a hole in your table. I apologize.
There's a hole in the table.
Maybe.
You making holes in the table.
It might be.
You might.
Maybe
It's delicious.
maybe that maybe that's why chocolate is not the best idea. But
Oh, there's an extra table under there. That's what's going on.
so
What's
many
going
tables.
on? Oh my god, you would have.
You
You
said there
would
was a
be
hole in the
prepared.
table.
You would be prepared. That's funny.
I mean, I guess the only thing that I could just show off is some of my, I guess, things that I can do with this model, given
Oh,
by
okay.
my rigor and stuff.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Feel
No,
free. Feel
I
free.
all right. So I think I showed that one before.
Oh,
The whole holding chat in my hand.
Oh, cute.
that's nice.
I got inspired by seeing I think someone, I don't know if they put that on sale, but like holding someone, by like a giantess holding someone, but not like me with the open palm, but more like, with the closed fist. So
The
so I'm like,
grab. Yeah.
yeah, grabbing someone. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I kind of like that, but I kind of like the idea of me having that in the open palm of my hand, so I can look down on them and just go like, well, no matter whatever you say, no matter how many times you think you're bigger than me, I have the proof that you're always on the palm of my hand.
No.
Which obviously I could go with the whole thing about giving like it's kind of like tribalism, but this whole spiel about people go, no, I'm bigger than you, no, I'm bigger than you, I'm bigger than you. Like I like, to be the biggest, obvious, and I like to grow forever. But
Mm,
also, I don't like to make this a whole thing about, a whole crybaby thing like, oh no, I have to be the biggest. No, I have to be the biggest. I look, if it's friendly competition, if you talked about that, if you like, make this a friendly competition. Evelyn told me, she and Gas sometimes have that, have a friendly grow off, if you will. Hey, all power to you.
yeah.
All power to you. It's
Some
all
girl.
good. It's
That's
it's
funny.
it's all cool. I just don't like it when it's just becoming like a bitching contest. It's just
Yeah. The
My broke
constant
is but
one-upmanship.
bigger than yours.
yeah. Look, I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine if we are just the same size. You know, all cool, all thing, But if you try to be like, no, I have to one up you, then I'm gonna teach you a lesson because this is my world now. I'm having the rules here, and if you try to one up me and be a bitch about it, then just put you into your place and make you insignificant. Thank you very much. But
Way too
also,
much of that going around on.
yeah, I don't know. I made some fun with it. I made like at one point I had like Giantess October post just for
Mm-hmm.
Halloween stuff, and I got inspired. I mostly I either get inspired by music, lyrics, or the you know titles about them. But there was a post where it said, hey, you can, whoever is bigger than me, post there. Guess what? They made it unable to post on that, post. So I made a whole thing about like me being able, that powerful that I'm just able to post, and they're like absolutely scared shitless of me because I can do that. And it's just a fun little jab there. Like, you know what? You think you can just do the one-up men thing? I'm gonna one-up you then in a spooky way.
Yeah. The upmanship gets all sorts of crazy, but having fun with it and
Oh,
either keeping it on friendly terms or
yeah.
dealing with people who are taking it way too seriously is important.
Mhm.
Yeah, hey, look, if you like to have a friendly competition or just, you know, everyone, is entertained by it and not like, ooh, this, feel uncomfortable about things, go ahead with it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
fine with it. Um, but yeah, that's about that. And I guess since I mentioned it, like, um, I do tend to like use music as a bit of an inspiration. Like the name for my mention, Pandemonium Wonderland. It came originally from listening to the song of Final Fantasy XIV's um uh Pandemonium Raid, where where it basically describes this whole place as this empty wonderland. And I've thought like, pandemonium, you know, pandemonium probably for those who uninvitedly kind of stumbled in, probably tiny mortals, you know, crazy things are happening. They're probably losing their minds. It's probably worse than seeing these old gods or like these Lovecraftian gods in front of you. And for me, it's just a nice mention, a wonderland for me, basically. Like I have fun with it.
That's the important part for a place you're spending your time at.
Absolutely. I mean, to be fair, my friends have been there too. I'm sure they had a great time too.
Good, good, huh?
I mean, why would I give them a horrible time?
Right,
That sounds
right.
that seems counterproductive.
Don't want to be a bad host of the people you actually invite.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. So one thing that my rigger gave me, or like my artist gave me, that I didn't, I didn't specifically commission for, but I'm thankful for that, is having the tongue out there.
The tongue, the lip is nice.
Yep. Yep. Hey, if I need to lick someone up, it's pretty easy.
True,
Oh my
true.
goodness.
Uh,
On our
also,
oh,
oh yeah, no, there are a few things like having some arm poses a bit more seductive. Hey, I'm trying to become a Lucian VTuber, even though I very much swore like a sailor when it came to um that is a bit more smug, but that's kind of fitting. I I just got that from my artist as
Oh.
as an emoji being with a nice smug grin.
mhm.
Or well, not a grin, but but yeah, trying to be the more loathsome VTuber, I guess, is also kind of a goal to learn this over the year and not to wear it all the time, even though the games might be aggravating as hell. But that's a learning experience at least. um, I think I have one more, but oh well, I guess two more, but for that I probably have to be much bigger.
Much bigger,
One
huh?
like probably for one of those, it's probably be me being the backgrounds behind the city, but that kind of size thing.
Well,
You know,
we could definitely overshoot that a fair ways if you don't mind.
I
Don't
mean,
mind me.
once we get there, I guess, obviously.
Well, if you got something you want to show off, we could just where's the where do we leave the ridiculous forklift with the can of drink bag for People who don't wind up growing themselves, huh? I'm sure
I
somewhere
mean,
around there.
I can do it myself. Don't need the can, but I take it. I take
Oh,
the extra.
uh, oh, found something. Found something different that we need to deal with before that. Apparently,
There's
Oh,
this
nothing
one's
under the
actually
table.
is gonna rise up in front of the table actually, and I'll be sending a copy in DMs. So my girlfriend has a usual question she likes to ask everybody as well,
oh,
and here is the
Oh.
Romeo chart. And she would usually, ask, all right, so on this mood chart of all the pictures of her dog, what would you pick? What would you say you're feeling?
uh,
And I just sent the bigger one in DM so you can take a look at that more clearly.
I don't think did it have names last time. I don't know if it did.
It did have, all the naming and stuff last time too.
Oh. That's right. I was Gooby Super that day.
All right, all right. Ooby Snoop.
I mean, it, right now I'm probably unfathomably close to you, but I hope after this interview everyone is enlightened, if you will.
Good choice. Good choices, huh? See, I will send that question back down. There we go. Okay. Looking around, looks like we do got the forklift out of commission. I could have sworn it was ready, but seems it may have been caught by some building rubble. So,
Can't believe it. That's kind of like a bait and switch here.
right,
I'm
right.
promised ex
Totally.
I'm promised extra growth here, and then it just says, nah, can't believe this.
Who's around here
The brake
somewhere?
wires
But
looked especially tasty earlier. I'm sorry.
I d- um I'm
okay,
sorry
let's
about
see.
that.
Let's see if we can hunt down some. I see your
I
stuff
mean,
there.
yeah, but now I'm in the mood, and I'm gonna smash a building for that.
Jeez.
Oh, hi.
There it goes.
It was hiding in the building.
Oh, well, perfect then.
One oversized can of drink big for you.
Right, just you know what? Can you just put that like a bit in front
I
of me?
I hear
I
it
think I
beep
have an
beep
idea.
beep. It's trying to go. There you go.
Okay. Excuse me, I have to
I gotta
Oh.
approach it. Yeah.
yeah, just putting it right there. Yep. All right, perfect.
And ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Oh,
Eh,
things are slightly aligned. Luna's all the way over
Oh,
there.
me.
And
Excuse me then, I guess.
there we go. A lot of things not quite aligned there, huh?
Mm,
Oh, hopefully that's big enough to show off whatever you were talking about. Oh,
I guess so. Just you know what? I have to get closer with my face a bit there. Just give me a second.
so you enjoy
Uh,
flying around the space station?
I'm orbiting.
Oh, a glow.
Hello there, my little Earth. How are you doing down there?
That's nice.
Oh, wait.
Glowing guy's
Not
nice.
just well, someone is wandering down my booba, huh?
Not
Azula.
the first time.
I get it. I'm very attractive. I just, sometimes you need to ask for consent.
Permission first.
I
Hmm,
didn't mean to, I swear.
can't believe it sometimes. Those those mortals and their thinking that they can just do everything.
It really do be, going around, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Also, I guess I'm looking at chat and was just seeing like some questions here and there. Just I think they didn't, use the redeem or something.
Yeah, there's usually the redeem. But let's see. Mostly big asking. Can I ask, how did the two of you meet?
I mean, I think that was like, you mean, okay, my miss, I don't quite get the question. I think, does she mean me and her, or does she mean
Well,
me and you?
I think as you know, us two right now that the
Probably
question is directed
Saru,
to.
yeah.
Ah,
Saru
okay.
and Silvia.
All right. I think, was it um either it was a Santa stream or it was me rating you. One of the two.
I know
I
Sanus
can't
is a
quite
common
remember.
friend, and I know you've definitely rated my way when we first actually
Yeah,
started talking proper. So,
yeah, I think so.
mm-hmm,
So I think that it might have been Sennis who introduced me to you,
mm-hmm,
and then I started to raid you once I became a VTuber. So
mm-hmm.
I okay, wait, I have to maybe move a bit because no one sees my movement. So I'm like
Yeah, yeah.
pesky earth.
No, I feel like I got to throw a comment out there as well for the phrasing of the contest. On the phrasing context that was given of microfolk and a gigantic goddess like Silvia must have been quite the first time meeting each other. Whereas, like, I'm not a micro. I'm just being polite right now. Okay.
I mean, yeah,
I'm
that
not
is
engaging
fair.
in one-upmanship here. I'm letting you know, big guests be big on the
N-
show, right?
Very fair, very fair.
Mm-hmm.
We
But
don't have a lore battle here, so all is good. All is good.
mm-hmm. Because like we went on about that one-upmanship, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess she doesn't know you're
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
also a
But that's
macro
why
folk. So
that's why I do gotta at least mention clarify, right?
yeah, yeah, no, no,
Mm-hmm.
all
Mm-hmm.
good, all good.
I meant to say mice folk. Ah, okay. Yeah,
Oh,
Oh,
right,
I
the
thought it
right.
was
R
micro as
slipping in there
well.
goes micro or
Yeah.
not mice, huh?
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mice
Yeah.
folk
Yeah.
and God, that makes more sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I thought micro
Well,
were for mice, but yeah.
right, right.
I'm the only small one
Mice
here.
and micro tend to
Mm.
go hand in hand, but there's some exceptions, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would be Saru. Saru is the exception.
I didn't notice the R. But yeah, typos are understandable. Those words just overlap so much it was like wrong way misinterpreting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
That R after the C.
really we can just agree to blame Sanus, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Not that I mind. Hey, it's my first interview, but I totally enjoy those. I guess a fun fact was,
Ooh.
which I didn't mention, um, you know, when Gigi was still, doing, doing VTubing, I had the idea to make like a podcast with her, about basically side stuff and Giantess, like having other Giantess VTubers in there, maybe other size folk in there. So there was even I made a commission about that how podcast would look like, at least in terms of design and stuff. So I guess I did basically I did something close to this with close to that without even noticing. So well, there we go.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's definitely good times and fun times to be had all the way around, huh?
Yeah, and I certainly wouldn't mind I mean doing interviews more often. I don't know if there will be repeatable guests at one point for Big Squeak Inc. But hey, if there is, count me in.
Yeah, I sometimes invite former guests on to co-host. Staring at Lula right there who fits that category, huh? I
Yeah,
may have just eaten a chunk of the planet, maybe.
right, right. I guess the other thing I need to use the sun then in the background.
Like, when you somehow grow this big suddenly, you're kind of hungry, like to compensate.
Well, I mean, I'm no Victoria or something, but
Hmm.
Other than that, I mean, go a bit behind, floating here. Just to pull it off, I guess. Again, I hope I won't bomb TOS or anything.
Oh no,
But
not
hi,
yet.
how about
There
those
you go.
those moons, huh?
Oh my god.
Hey, yeah, yeah.
Ju- just a little spicy extra from my rigger. So yeah.
Oh, we got a question. Wait, did the mouse eat or the Lulu? Do you wanna take a few more bites?
um, I mean,
It is an option.
Look, she takes the earth, I take the soul, sweet. So it's all
I was
good.
trying to be nice, but Saru's like, "Hey, I want you to co-host," and I'm like, "But Saru, I'm only like 2 inches," and he's like, "It's okay, I got
It's
you."
true. We have a
And then I grew
copious
really
amount of
fast,
drink
and
pig.
because of that, yeah, I'm like really, really hungry. You gotta
Mhm.
compensate for the size.
I
Right,
might
right.
or might not have taken those cans, by the way, while I was growing. So
Oh, we give out, we give them out by the crate. Take as many as you want.
well, I'm taking them all then.
Ay, ay, ay. Gotta keep making more. Always making more drink big.
That's happened. That's what's going to happen if you tempt me like that.
Listen, we put out the goodie table. People are expected to take the goodies, right?
Well, if the goodies are growing, then I'm gonna take all the goodies.
Right, right. And we do got a little comment there. I'm 2 inches tall, says the world rampaging mouse girl at the moment, huh?
Well, there's a question above that.
There is. All right, we'll ask
Is that for
that
all of
too,
us, or
Oh, we'll see,
probably
we'll
just the
see. Let's
interview?
see. Snow Soul asks, if you swap gender for a day, what would you do?
Probably trying to.
Oh.
I'm I'm really sorry, and then again, this is no
Yeah.
offense to you, but I probably would immediately swap back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get like, no, I'm more comfortable being a giantess. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. And my own situation is like, normally before I would have been like, yeah, I'll roll with it, whatnot. But this time is like, well, you got a significant other, and she is incredibly straight, so she does not like women. As far as that attraction, so I was like, yeah, I would have to resolve that real quick.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I were a guy for a day, I'd be sticking my you know what in everything.
Uh, yeah.
Gremlin.
I guess that's fair.
Not gonna lie.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I've thought about this.
Especially in your current size, huh?
Yeah, I mean, sticking it in everything just to see what it
So,
feels like.
mhm. There's
Understandable.
there are enough comics or arts out of there for girls, with a
Mm-hmm.
they do that then, and again trying to be as
Yeah.
Twitch friendly as it can be.
Yep, yep, yep.
All right. It seems like reached a nice lull. Unless there's anything on either your minds to bring up, we can start moving towards the wrap up questions. And
I think
no,
I've
so
shown everything that I can. So
fair, fair. No, so I see that question asking how to make edible chocolate, and like I said in chat, just more chocolate per chocolate. That's how
that or magic or science, I
that works
guess.
too. So as we wrap down, usually I do ask the guests if there's anybody they would like to send the post interview raid off to. So if you wind up, taking a glance around and seeing anybody, keep that in mind. But the final questions I have for you are looking forward, and Lula kind of touched on this one already for long term goals. What are some long term goals you have regarding streaming content creation or just life in general?
I mean, besides the absolutely technical ones that I mentioned before, like
Mm-hmm.
PC and some of the projects that I want to do, and of course, as everyone wants to, make streaming basically their financial backup for living. Um, really, I just I like to collab. I like to do collabs. I like to do to do more Giantess collabs, or just in general VTubing collabs and gaming collabs, and just grow my community and make these, hell, even these pipe dreams, make them hopefully come true. Basically, would I love to meet someone like Victoria and make a collab with her? Absolutely. But yeah, that is definitely, first of all, a pipe dream and a long term one. So yeah, uh, which is kind of funny because th- for example, I think you know Richie, right? Um,
Who?
Cheddar. Someone Richie. I don't know the full name, but
I feel like I see
he's
Richie pop in every now and then. Yeah.
yeah, he's part of Sanus's, and with
Mm-hmm.
others. He once said, "Hey, would you imagine doing a collab, or guess an interview with Will, VTubers I love? Absolutely, I would love to, but first of all, I think he needs to know me more, and given that, and that sounds a bit weird, but given that in terms of followers, I'm not that big yet. I'm still a bit like, oh, I don't know if I just should, come with that question forward immediately. Maybe some of my followers could help me with that as well. Others that know me,
I,
the whole connection part again.
I'd say worst case scenario, interact with them on some posts and send a DM of some sort. It's like you never know unless you reach out and at least start in the conversation is better than not. Because if you jump straight to the point, sometimes I'm gonna go down. But I mean, I don't have a huge following all in all if we compare to a lot of others. But I even managed to get Bill on the show for a while as well and interview them. So
True, I
it's always
guess.
possible.
True. I think, yeah, those. If I go with my followers, with my cultists, they want me to collab with Vil and with Chunky. That's it's kind of funny, but maybe eventually in the future.
Just gonna be a task to get yourself out there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
All right, and how about more in the short term? What are your say immediate plans for the next week or month or so that you might want to share?
Um, in terms of plans, well, obviously continuing to learn more about pixel art, becoming better in that. Um, I have some more retro games into my repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
But I think really finding that one game I could play really long term is a thing. Of course, with my laptop, you know, there is more limited things I have to consider with. But I guess I tried with Hearthstone, but for some reason Hearthstone is a bit wonky. The time when I played Hearthstone, suddenly my laptop freezes in like twice in 5 days. I'm like, okay, maybe not.
Eh,
Um, I thought about Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, but the problem is it is Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's all complicated. I might just go with the Binding of Isaac, honestly, but um I might still have to see about that.
yeah, lots of options, lots of games. Finding what works on your computer and works for you and chat
Yeah.
definitely important. Huh?
Yep.
Yep, yep. So sound like good plan, short term, long term as well. So did you happen to spy anybody who was online that you'd like to send the raid over to as we wrap things up?
I have two honestly. So there's Fairy Dooney, obviously.
Oh,
What is
Dooney.
Hmm. And the other one would be Witch Magnus, who helps me, you know, understand pixel art more. Funny enough, Witch Magnus was shown to me by Nebzilla, who is also
Oh,
online. But yeah, I guess there's a one, two, three. Then basically, do we want to roll a three-sided die?
well,
Can you make the Earth form like a? Can you bite enough off to make it a three-sided die? Huh?
we'll have to see, huh? All right.
Maybe.
Little Gimmick's really inviting it. Oh, no, that's not getting three-sided dice.
Guess now that's a bit more of a half moon, huh?
Yeah, we could try a little further. We could try a little. Oh,
Okay, okay.
I don't think that's gonna become a three-sided die at this rate, huh?
Nope, it's more like a tiny boomerang for me.
Right, right.
I'd say it's a new hammock.
Fair, fair. Yeah, I am familiar with Dooney and hang out quite often. Let's see, what was the second name that you mentioned?
Which Magnus?
Magnus. I am not familiar with them personally, so
Okay.
I do not know them. If you want to send, over to someone I don't know and contact community that way, can stick to Dooney. Either way,
Mm,
I leave the
yeah.
choice up to you. Who would you like to send everybody
Um,
to?
you know what? Since she was in the chat, I think at the beginning, um, why not go with Fairy Doom? Why not?
All right, we shall send everybody off to Dooney. So,
Uh,
to everybody who showed up in chat and is watching, thank you all for hanging out for this Big Squeak Inc. interview. Lula, thank you for terrorizing the earth as my co-host.
Thank you for inviting me.
And Silvia, thank you for being the main guest and giving us this lovely time.
hey, I have to thank you for being basically the first guest for the return of it. So,
Oh, good times all around, huh? Let's see.
hmm
Now, do we say anything in particular for special raid message? Since I do like to offer that to the guests as well, since it is
I mean,
big interview day.
I have those as well in my my stream as like my server as a poll, but you know, um, I guess big growing rate. Why not? Big growing Ultima rate, something like that. Or I guess like a big growing Ultima talk show, something like. I might be not the best when it comes to improvising.
That's fair. That's fair. May as well just toss it out there. Although it looks like Lula's going with mice and monsters.
You don't have to though. I was just
Okay,
playing
Lula's,
around with it.
throwing out suggestions, huh? But take care,
that's fair.
everybody, and bye bye.
Well,
The raid's going.
Nope.